you open up that question. It's like, are we Catholics hypocrites because we got a confession? Like, and I make this question because people out there, even though they might believe in the confession, they might be even Catholics. They might even be, baptized Catholics, and they're like, oh, I'm not gonna go to confession. I mean, these people that go to confession, they're hypocrites. They go to confession, then the next hour, the next minute, they're doing the same thing they did. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's a funny one. No, we're not hypocrites for going to confession, and we're not hypocrites if we get out of confession or we get out of confessional and then we commit the same sin again. Because as long as you're not trying, it's not like I just go to confession and be like, "Hey, Father, ABC, oh, okay, you're forgiven. 2 Hail Marys, go ahead." And then I go, "All right, let me go do whatever I want." There is this movie. It's a weird movie I watched like way back when, but the guy he was addicted to pornography and just kept doing it. And women and sex and all. He just go to the priest. Hey, Father, I had sex 20 times this week. Blah blah blah. Okay, 10 Hail Marys. Okay, boom. And he would just keep going bad.
Yo, what's the name of that movie? You don't remember?
No, man. I'm gonna look it up though. It's not too old.
Send it to me, bro. I need to watch that.
But it's basically that he would just go to confession because I guess it was like a thing that he was used to doing. So a lot of people might go to confession because it's just a routine or anything like that. But in reality, the confession slides are so small that the people who are going there most likely understand what confession is for. And confession is not for those people who are going to confess it and be perfect after, but for those who need the mercy of God and understand what the mercy of God means and why they need to be in a state of grace. A lot of people don't understand what a state of grace is or why they need to be in a state of grace.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at this. Go to Mass. All right. You go to a Saturday confession. Most people go to Saturday confession. On Sunday, right? Look at the lines for confession and communion. Communion line is huge, bro. Like
ridiculous, weird.
And the line for confession is like the 4 viejitas that always go to, So
give it a take 10 people. Give it a take 10 people.
Right, man. Like confession is such a beautiful thing, man. That Jesus Christ and it's biblical. This is not something the church came up with because they want to know your secrets. I mean, most priests do not care. Yeah, but I've heard like I've killed somebody, and then I go to a priest like, "Hey, Father, I killed James last night," and then the priest will tell you, "Okay, as your penance, go and turn yourself to the authorities."
You heard that before?
That's like a chess move. Like, yeah, now like you literally got to go and that's what I heard from priests and things like that. But I've never heard it like before the act, so I wouldn't know. Okay. But from what I know, you can't break the seal of confession. If not, you're excommunicated. So
yeah, I sort of left right there to see what you want to say about that. You see that? All right. All right. By the way, I love going to confession. I try to go to confession at least. Sometimes try every week, but most of the time I wouldn't go over 2 weeks without confessing. It's something that it just helped me to to be a better person. For the fact that just being a state of grace, it just makes you more it opens your eyes to whatever you think you might be doing wrong. Like going to confession just open up my heart to be to open up my heart to Christ, so that he can take over me and to be for me to be the light that he needs me to be. With that confession, bro, if I wouldn't go to a confession, I would just pray every day, sin like a crazy, because I don't care, like, oh, I don't go into confession, so I don't feel ashamed that, because by the way, confession, man, like psychologically, it's amazing, because it just gets you to a moment where you need to be humble, a moment where you need to accept your own wrongdoings, and a moment where you need to, say, look, I did this. Yes, it was me. And sometimes something wrong that we do in confession, some Catholics, what we do in confession is like, oh, look, I sinned, but the problem was that gente, these people, they did that to me. That's why. And like, we're putting like this things like, oh, it wasn't because of us. Oh, come on, man. And I know priest, and because I heard from somebody that they did that, they told them back, and then the person opened up to me. They were like, I said this, I said that, and the priest said this, and the priest literally said like, oh, stop giving these people the fault and own it. And that was really what up, and it's amazing.
Oh yeah, confession, if we really want to look at it, is a moment where you got to analyze. I mean, we know what we've done wrong most of the times. We've done, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh man, I shouldn't have done that, and we start piling these things up in our mind, and it comes to a moment where it's like, I gotta confess it to God. Some people just, hey God, I'm sorry, and that's it. But for Catholics, we are forced to not just be like, I did this wrongdoing, but analyze what commandments we broke. Understand why is it a sin. You know, I love that story of Fulton Sheen where he talks about a group of lumberjacks. They want to go to confession. It's a bunch of they haven't been to confession in a long time, and they show up to the priest. And the bravest one goes in there and he goes, "All right, Father, I basically committed every sin." And the priest says, "Well, have you murdered anybody?" And he says, "That's right, Father. I haven't done that one." And he says, "Well, go outside and examine your conscience, right? Go examine what you really have done and come back with a real list of your sins."
Yeah.
Well, lumberjack goes outside and says, you know, he looks at the line and he says, "Don't worry, boys. Only here in murder cases, right?" Like that's all he's interested in. But like that always made me think that, you know, it's like before you go in there, we have to analyze. And for me, that's like understanding what the problem is so you can find the solution, you know, and first, you know, get that forgiveness of God and know like, hey, my sins are forgiven, man. Like I'm okay. I can try again. And God forgives everything. That's the beauty of confession. Like sometimes we're afraid. Oh my God, my sin is so bad. And somebody, a priest always told, man, we've heard everything. Like, you know, it's like
there's nothing that we're gonna go crazy about.
You know, man, and you know, we're confessing to Jesus Christ, you know, so that's that beauty. And as soon as you say it's like, wait, he's not telling me I'm a sinner and I deserve hell. Like he just tells me I've solved you of your sins. Like, wow, like it's a weight lifted off your shoulders. And it's the most beautiful thing, especially when you have so much in you, because it can free you, man. It's freedom.
No choosing to be forgiven. That is the sin that is not going to be forgiven because you're not seeking to be forgiven. That's so, true. You know, on that part. And by the way, the other day, I went for a general confession. Never done it. I never done it. And it was really harsh. I got to tell you, because you have to remember, have to try to remember through prayer, like ever since you were a kid. Man, that list was long. Let me tell you, I'm a huge sinner, son. you got to try that. It's amazing.